Today is December 31st, 2012, and we are going to cover a YouTube clip called Lose Weight Without Exercise. Most people's initial mindset is, no way, it can't be done, or if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. So I'm going to be quoting a few people, so hold on, okay? The 5 authors I'm going to be quoting that I'm going to blend part of their views on is Gary Taubes, the author of Good Calories, Bad Calories, and another book called Why We Get Fat. Barry Sears, he's a medical doctor and an author. He helped Manuel Ubri reach from 1,320 pounds to lose 800 pounds, and now after he's finished with his weight loss deals, he's working with NFL and post-traumatic brain disorder patients on head injuries. But he's got some really cool stuff. Robert Lustig, he is a pediatric endocrinologist from the University of California, San Francisco, where he is a clinical pediatrician. He's got a great video. He's got several, but he's got a great video. One's called Sugar the Bitter Truth, and it's now got 2.5 more million hits on it than when I watched it. It's a 90-minute biochemical lecture. Pretty complicated, but a lot of truth in there. I give kudos to him. He's done some great investigations, some great changes with children's health. Robert Baron, MD, MS, gastroenterist, professor of medicine, vice chief, division of general internal medicine, associate dean for the graduate and continuing medical education. He's out of University of California. And last one is Colin Campbell. He's got a PhD. He's an American biochemist who specialized in the effects of nutrition on long-term health. He's Professor Emeritus of the Nutritional Biochemistry at Cornell University, and he's got over 300 research papers. So we're going to blend several different opinions into one video, so hang on. First phase is we're going to take myth and understanding, and we're going to take it into the end of a solution. So we need a few things. Dr. Baron did one on obesity. The reduction of weight will almost reduce every major problem and disease. That's a pretty bold statement, but one of his studies took 25,000 men. He put them on a treadmill and he measured oxygen from the pulse oxes, and he created categories: fit and unfit, and normal weight or within your mean weight, and overweight and obese. And a few things he said. One which was quite surprising was, which will come up, if your weight was normal and you're not fit, you're 2 times 2 risk of death in the next 14 years compared to somebody who was fit and normal. So you're 2.2 times more willing to die if you're just within your weight but you're not fit. If you're not fit and obese, then you're 3.1 times the ability to die compared to somebody who's normal and fit. But here's a surpriser. If you're just obese but you're fit, you're only 1.1 times that of somebody normal and fit. So the emphasis of the study, which was substantially surprising to many of us, was fitness trumps fat. Fitness trumps weight. So if you're fit and healthy, in that order, and then you can drop your weight, you'll reduce your risk of death compared to being unfit within weight. You're 2.2 times that of somebody who's obese but yet fit. Exercise alone is not very helpful. It's true if you exercise that you will increase the duration and intensity of the health, will move towards better quality of life. What you're really doing is you're decreasing blood sugars, triglycerides, you're cleaning the blood, and you're allowing the body to burn the fat instead of the muscle, which is very keen. But you're really not going to get what you want. The exercise alone, you would have to burn 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound. That's 30 minutes on a Stairmaster would equal 200 calories, which, 3,500 calories divided by 200 is 1/17 and a half. So you're going to have to be on the treadmill for a long time to get rid of an entire pound. One of the theories is calorie in, calorie out. This first law of thermodynamics. If you eat less, you'll weigh less. Up to a point, you can starve yourself or you can really harm your body. But after that, it's not really going to happen. I'll give you an example. If you earned more money, you'd spend a little freer. And if I cut your paycheck in half, you wouldn't buy some things that you probably even need. You're just going to cut them out. You're just going to go down to the bare bones. Your body's ability to burn calories works just like that. It will not burn them at a consistent rate based on what you're doing to it. Otherwise, a lot more people in the gym would be getting a lot more fit a lot faster, but they're not. I'm going to give you an example. A can of soda, 1 can of soda a day in a 12-ounce can has an average caloric effect of 15.6 pounds of fat per year. If you use the 44-ounce Quickie cup from the gas station for 99 cents, whatever you're paying for it, your caloric intake would then turn into 57 pounds of fat per year that your body's got to fight from your 99 cent or whatever it is habit. One of the things we take into logic and common sense is we say we don't believe the label. Good things that are good for you really don't have a ton of labels on it. So an apple doesn't say less than 100 calories, trans fat free, low fat. It's just an apple. You know it's an apple and it's good for you. Where a lot of things that are really trashy for you have great labels. Lay's potato chips has a trans fat free label. They're still trash. Oreos has 100 calorie packs. Still garbage. And if you don't believe me, look at the people who are eating them on a large per capita scale. They're not the thin ones. They're the bigger people. So don't be mad at the truth. Just be mad at deceptive marketing and advertising to gain your money. I've never met a patient in over 6,000 patients. I've never met one person telling me, you know, doc, I lost all this weight moving to Diet Cola. You know, doc, I lost all this weight moving to fat-free ice cream. I've just never met that person. Maybe you're that person. I've just never met you, but in my experience, this doesn't happen. Ask around. Ask any of your friends. Ask anybody you know. But it just doesn't happen, folks. In the words of Robert Lustig, if you take his video, The Sugar, the Bitter Truth, move to minute 16:45, he talks about high fructose corn syrup equals glucose and fructose. He talks about sucrose is just as bad as high fructose corn syrup. He gets into the biochemistry of it, but he talks about it being a poison and how it harms the body. He talks about today that there's 5 times more fructose in our daily diet, and that while our fat consumption is going down, and our fructose is going up, and our sugar consumption is going up, we're getting sicker. So his suggestion is it's not the fat, it's the sugar. And I'd have to concur. He's right, spot on. When we were eating a heavy fat diet 40 years ago, we didn't have an obesity pandemic around the world like we do today. Robert further states, in 1982, the reduction of fat consumption to stop heart disease. When you look at the numbers, heart disease has gone nowhere but up. Fructose creates 7 times more cardiovascular disease now than before we consumed it. That's 7 times more cardiovascular disease. That should concern a lot of people. Fructose does not suppress ghrelin, the hunger hormone. If it's not suppressed, you keep eating. Fructose won't stimulate insulin. When insulin is not stimulated, because there is no receptor on the beta cell in the pancreas, then no leptin's produced, and when no leptin's produced, you don't know you're full. So fructose creates all sorts of problems for the body. So anything with fructose in it on a high volume consumptive basis over term will cause high volume people. That's right, bigger people, not thinner people. He moved to 45 through 56 minutes on his lecture. He teaches that 120 calories does not equal 120 calories, which does not equal 120 calories. What that means is your body doesn't burn everything you eat metabolically identically. So just because it says how many calories on the side of the package doesn't mean your body uses them the same. And he gets into that for a good 10 minutes. It's pretty interesting. As a chemist, working in biochemistry in a lab for 3 years, found it pretty fascinating, probably pretty boring for you, but the end of the result is not all calories are equal. He talks about that you got to take 20 minutes to work off 1 chocolate chip cookie. So to get real, don't think you're going to exercise your way out of bad habits and things you like. To work off 1 M&M, he doesn't talk about this, but if you work out 1 M&M, 1 M&M is a football field. So a small package of M&Ms, you have to walk a mile. I'm not sure people are really willing to do that or even understand what's committed when they eat something. So there's some mistruths, there's some problems. Let's get into some solutions. When there was a poison called sugar, there's a solution called fiber. We used to eat anywhere from 100 to 300 grams of fiber in a daily diet. The average consumption market now is 12 grams. So there was your problem. We took out the fiber because we want food to last on the shelves for years and years. Plus it's tasty. But it doesn't mean it's good for us. So what we need is we need to increase the fiber in our diet. What we're going to do is we're going to blend a few different doctors, Dr. Barry Sears, the Zone Diet with Colin Campbell's the China Study, and we're going to kind of come up with something that works for my patient base without doing a lot of strenuous effort. Simple, easy, fast, quick to remember. People like that. Enjoyable? That's debatable. But efficient and effective? That's a certainty. So what do? Campbell's China Study diet was a little more unpleasant than what people want. There's no meat, no dairy, no oils, no fats, fruits and vegetables only. That's kind of the chunk of it, and some mixed nuts. And I just found that too restrictive for normal people. I just couldn't get people to comply, basically, unless they were going to die. Which, when you took them into the heart attack studies at Cleveland University, that's what they're faced against. When people have their back against the wall, they'll do things they normally wouldn't do, but as soon as they get better, they kind of slide. I'm looking for life change instead of emergency change. So here's what we did. We took and told people you can do the following. Fibers are going to be our goal. We're going to be looking for 45 units. Okay, points, if you will. And we're going to get a pen. You probably have to rewind this more than once, but here we go. 1 cup of any fruit is 3 points. 1 cup of any vegetable is 4 points. And 1 cup of any nut is 5 points. And a half a cup, not 1 cup, 1/2 a cup of beans is 7 points. So a full cup of beans is 14 points. And we're looking throughout the day to take all the food, add up all the points, and come out somewhere near around 45 points. Meat, you can eat a piece of meat the size of your hand, the thickness of your hand each meal, minus processing, so no ham, no nitrated pork, only because we don't want pancreatic cancer risk. And if you increase it over 50 grams, you're increasing pancreatic cancer risk at over 33%. Different lecture, different day, but just kind of a side note. And that's it. That's as complicated as it gets. If you just watch what you're eating, watch the whole, not working out, you'll come out an awful lot better. Some people get discouraged because of how much they have to do. So I'm going to read you one note of encouragement. I had a patient come in September. And they were at the end of the rope. They were beyond themselves because nothing worked. They hated how they felt. They blankety used a lot of explanatives to describe how they were feeling to me. And they wrote me a note in November 5th of this year. So that's only, 3 months. So I personally want to thank you so much for all that you've done for me, both physically and mentally. I've had no neck pain, and my headaches are gone ever since my first visit, blah, blah, blah. As far as my weight, I can't believe it. I've lost 16 pounds and lots of inches. Even though I don't know how many pounds I've lost, I'm 4 sizes smaller in my pants right now. Mentally, I'm actually starting to like myself again. I'll spare you the rest of the notes, because it's not about me, it's about you. But if you just stay committed to watching what you put in your mouth, decreasing what you know is not right, increasing your grams of fiber, and staying consistent over time. It's not about being perfect. It's about staying consistent, having a good attitude, and what you can do to change your life over a long, long term. So don't do something for the short term, because it will only work for the short term. Other than that, investigate what I tell you. Check out the authors. Check out some of their works. They're really cool. They're full of tons of great knowledge. And have a great new year.